Chapter 12. The Happy Prince. Adapted from The Happy Prince by Oscar Wilde. List of characters. Narrator 1. Narrator 2. Swallow. Prince. Narrator 1. High above the city, on a tall column, stood the statue of the Happy Prince. He was covered with leaves of fine gold. For eyes, he had 2 bright sapphires, and a large red ruby glowed on the hilt of his sword. Narrator 2. One night, there flew into the city a little swallow. He saw the statue of the Happy Prince. Swallow, I think I'll stay there. It's a lovely place. And I'll have a golden bed. He settles between the feet of the Happy Prince. Narrator 1. But just as he prepared to sleep, a large drop of water fell on him. Swallow, what a strange thing. There's not a single cloud in the sky, and yet it's raining. Narrator 1. Now the swallow looked up to see what it was. Narrator 2. Ah! What did he see? There were tears running down the golden cheeks of the Happy Prince. The little swallow was filled with pity. Swallow, who are you? Prince, I am the Happy Prince. Swallow, why are you crying then? Prince, when I was alive and had a human heart, I didn't know what tears were. I was so happy and I never knew what lay beyond the high walls of my palace. And now that I'm dead, they have set me up here so high. I see many people who are sad and miserable, and though my heart is made of lead, I want to cry all the time. Swallow, aside, but I thought he was made of solid gold, not lead. Prince, far away in a little street, I can see a woman. Her face is thin and worn. Her hands are red, all pricked by the needle, for she is a seamstress. In a bed, her little boy is lying ill and hungry. His mother has nothing to give him. Swallow, swallow, little swallow, will you not take her the ruby from my sword hilt? My feet are fastened and I cannot move. Swallow, Egypt is waiting for me. My friends have already gone. Prince, swallow, swallow, little swallow, will you not stay with me for one night and be my messenger? Narrator 1. The Happy Prince looked so sad that the little swallow was sorry. He agreed to stay for one night. Narrator 2. He picked up the great ruby from the prince's sword and flew away with it. At last, he reached the mother and laid the ruby beside her. Narrator 1. After a while, he flew back to the Happy Prince and told him what he had done. Swallow, it's strange but I feel quite warm now, though it's really very cold. Prince, that's because you've done a good deed. Narrator 2. The next day, the swallow prepared to fly to Egypt. Swallow, I am leaving now. I'm starving here. Prince, swallow, swallow, little swallow, will you not stay with me one more night? Far away, across the city, I see a young man. He's leaning over a desk and trying to finish a play. But he's too cold and hungry to write anymore. Swallow, all right, I'll be with you just one more night. Do you want me to take him another ruby? Prince, oh, but I have no ruby now. My eyes are all I have left. They're made of rare sapphires. Take one of them to him. Swallow, weeping, dear Prince, I can't do that. Prince, swallow, swallow, do as I command. Narrator 1. So the swallow took out the eye and flew away to where the young man was. When he saw the beautiful sapphire, the young man was happy. Now, he thought, I can finish my play at last. Narrator 2. The next day, the swallow flew back to the happy prince. Swallow, I came to say goodbye. Dear prince. Swallow, swallow, little swallow, won't you stay with me another night? Swallow, it's winter and the snow will soon be here. Dear prince, I must leave you now. Prince, look, there stands a little match girl. She has let her matches fall into the gutter and they are all spoilt. She has to take some money home and she's crying. Take out my other eye and give it to her. Swallow, no, I can't do that. You'd be quite blind then. Prince, swallow, swallow, little swallow, do as I command you. Narrator 1. So the swallow took out the prince's other eye and flew down with it. He slipped the jewel into the palm of the girl's hand. The little girl was delighted and ran home laughing. Narrator 2. Then the swallow came back to the prince. Swallow, you're blind now, so I'll stay with you always. Prince, no, little swallow. You must go away to Egypt. Swallow, I want to stay with you always. Narrator 1. So all day the swallow sat on the prince's shoulders, and told him stories of what he had seen in various lands. To know what happened next, read the full story of the Happy Prince. Understanding the text, answer these questions. L. The little swallow was filled with pity. A. Where was the swallow? Answer. A. The swallow was sitting on a golden statue of the Happy Prince. B. Why was he filled with pity? Answer. B. He was filled with pity because there were tears running down the prince's face. 2. I want to cry all the time. A. Why does the Happy Prince want to cry all the time? Answer. A. He wants to cry all the time because he sees the sadness and misery of the people around him. B. What has he learned now that he did not know when he was alive? Answer. B. When he was alive, he was sheltered within the walls of the palace and knew only happiness. He saw no suffering. After becoming a statue, he sees the sadness and misery in the lives of people around him. 3. Swallow, swallow, little swallow, will you not stay with me for one night and be my messenger? A. Why does the Happy Prince ask the swallow to be his messenger? Answer. A. He asks the swallow to become his messenger because he is a statue and cannot do anything by himself. B. What does he want the swallow to do? Answer. B. He asks the swallow to give the ruby from his sword to a mother who had nothing to give her starving and sick child. 4. It's strange but feel quite warm now, though it's really very cold. A. Why does the swallow feel warm when it is actually cold? Answer. A. The swallow felt so because it had done a good deed. B. Was the Happy Prince partly responsible for what the swallow has done? Answer. B. Yes, because he asked the swallow to help the woman and gave it the resources to do so. 5. Dear Prince, I can't do that. A. What does the Happy Prince want the swallow to do now? Answer. A. The prince wants the swallow to take off one of the sapphires from his eyes and give it to a young playwright who is hungry and cold. B. Why does the swallow refuse to do it? Answer. B. The prince would become blind in one eye if the swallow did so. 6. You're blind now, so I'll stay with you always. A. How does the Happy Prince become blind? Answer. A. The Happy Prince asks the swallow to pluck off the other sapphire as well to give to a little March girl. B. What does the swallow decide to do for the prince? Answer. B. The swallow decides to stay with the prince always and tells him stories of what he had seen in other lands. Structures. Degrees of comparison. Read these sentences. That's because you've done a good deed. You've done better than I ever have before. This is the best deed I have done so far. This book is more interesting than the other. We add our, est, or more most to words when we compare people, things and so on. For example, nice changes into nicer, nicest and lovely into more lovely or lovelier. Here are some other rules. 1. Words like good, bad and little have special words which can be used for comparing. They are not formed by adding r, or est. That was a good book. The one I read last week was better, not gooder. This is the best book I have ever read, not goodest. 2. We use only more or most for some words. For example, patient, more patient, most patient. Here are some words which take more, less and most, least. They are generally long words. Notice that the word itself does not change, but we generally use these patterns. More, less important than, something else. The most comfortable, the least comfortable, compared to something else. A. Complete the sentences on the next page using tables A and B if necessary, and the keywords in capital letters. The plus and the indicate a higher or lower degree of comparison. The plus and the dash show the highest degree. 1. I was unwell yesterday but I'm feeling better, plus well, today. Answer. Better. 2. I would like little sugar in my tea, please. It's not good for me to eat or drink sweet things. Answer. Less. 3. This is the comfortable of I suggest you sit in one of the others. All the chairs in the room. Answer. Least comfortable. 4. You have made many mistakes in your maths problems. Try and work careful next time. Answer. More carefully. 5. The waterfall was beautiful. It was the enchanting scene I had ever seen. Answer. Most enchanting. 6. The test paper was difficult than I thought it would be, so it took me a long time to complete. Answer. More difficult. 7. The train was very crowded and it was hot and noisy. I think it was the bad journey of my life. Answer. Worst. B. Complete these sentences with the correct degrees of comparison of the highlighted words. 1. The red flower is beautiful. It is more beautiful than the yellow one. Answer. More beautiful. 2. He speaks good English. He speaks it than he speaks Hindi. Answer. Better. 3. This is an old house. But that house is than this one. Answer. Older. 4. Sharat usually speaks very little. In fact, he spoke during the group discussion. Answer. Least. 5. Today's test was difficult. It was than the one we had yesterday. Answer. More difficult. 6. That meal was so delicious. It was the meal I've ever had in my life. Answer. Most delicious. Words in use. Suffixes to form adjectives. Look at these phrases. Lovely place. Beautiful sapphire. Golden cheeks. The highlighted words on the previous page are formed by adding a suffix to a noun. Notice that the spelling changes in some cases. Love plus ly. beauty plus full, gold plus en. Complete these sentences using adjectives formed by adding suffixes to the words in brackets. 1. The happy prince looked down on his city. Some poor people live in conditions, he thought. Pity. Answer. Pitiful. 2. Did you see the school play yesterday? Wasn't it? Delight. Answer. Delightful. 3. Manny is fit and strong. He is a child. Health. Answer. Healthy. 4. We saw a magnificent throne in the museum. It was a one and had once belonged to a queen. Gold. Answer. Golden. 5. The sky is dark and cloudy. I think it is going to be a day. Rain. Answer. Rainy. 6. Japan always leaves things behind.